Alright, let's do this one last time.
What's up, everyone? Happy Star Wars Day, May 4th, 2024. I'm Anthony Olan, and today I'm doing a first in a series of classic video game reviews, and today I decided to review Star Wars The Force Unleashed. Now, I did primarily focus on the PS2 version of the game, but I did also pick up the 360 version through the Xbox backwards compatible in the marketplace. And I did not know going in that these two versions of the game are very different from one another, not just based on graphics and performance, but even in the level structure. You're going to see the same levels throughout both versions of the game in a completely different structure and design and format. And then you'll also see levels that you may go to in one version of the game, and you may not get to explore that in the other. But aside from that, this isn't much of a comparison video, more so of a quick review on whether or not you should try Star Wars The Force Unleashed if you never played it before, or if you have played it back when it released, if you should play it again. And for the nostalgia, I say most definitely yes. Now, not to compare this to the recent Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, you're going to have a lot of differences here with combat. Of course, Jedi Survivor has the much better combat and much better different combos and moves you can perform. But in here, for its time in The Force Unleashed, you have some pretty good combat here with your lightsaber attacks and your Force abilities, such as the Force to lift items and enemies, as well as the Force lightning, just to name a couple of them. And even for its time on the PS2, some things did look pretty good. Darth Vader's cape in particular looked really good for the PS2 version of the game. And the 360 version, of course, looks much better. And the first opening level on Kashyyyk as Vader was more fun on the 360 because you have more Wookiees that you can toss off of the bridges and send them to their doom. So that was a fun time. Going on for that, you do have a pretty interesting story here. If you don't know the story, basically Darth Vader finds a young Jedi who he takes on as his apprentice and is hoping to train him to become powerful enough to help him overthrow the Emperor so they can rule the galaxy. Now, like some other games that have more of a karma system or a choice, you do get to choose what kind of ending you want in the game, but nothing similar to what you see in the Infamous franchise where your choices throughout the game does matter for the story. In here, you're mostly getting your choice at the end of the game of how you want it to end. And I do believe that some of the DLC for the game does continue that one of the endings of the story, but I would have loved to see more of a choice where my choices do impact the story throughout the whole gameplay and not just at the end. So keep that in mind. But with the game itself, for the time it released and what it offers, you're going to have some great levels to explore, some great combat, some pretty great boss fights. Do keep in mind that I did find the boss fights on the 360 version a bit more wonky. The controls seemed a bit more wonky as well. Combat wasn't as smooth on the 360 version as it was on the PS2 in my experience. My character would sometimes freeze up when I'm trying to do a block or a dodge. Some attacks just won't, hit or even work at all. Whereas on the PS2, the controls felt more developed for some reason. It just felt more structured. I can do more with the PS2 version's combat with the lightsabers and the Force. It just had a better sense of what you were doing. Whereas the 360 version felt a bit loose and not so much structured as it could have been. But you're still going to get an amazing experience here with combat and story and gameplay. Of course, you'll have your various platforming, some puzzle solving, not too many, and of course hidden collectibles that you can find throughout the levels, which will give you different unlocks as well. But aside from that, you don't really have much else to the game unless you buy the Nintendo Switch version, which does have the 1 versus 1 fight mode as an option with various characters to play as. Whereas I don't think this game on the 360 offers that, and the PS2, from my knowledge, doesn't offer that as well either. But with the Switch version, you are getting the vastly inferior graphics and it just looks horrible. But if you have a way to pick up this game, whether it's through the Xbox backwards compatible or the Switch version or PS2 emulation, if you haven't played this game before and you're a Star Wars fan, you got to give it a try. If you have played it and you just want some nostalgia, play it again and get that nostalgia because it's pretty damn great. But that's my quick classic game review for Star Wars The Force Unleashed. So let me know in the comments what you think about this game personally. Did you enjoy it when you played it? Have you not played it yet? Let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, may the Force be with you. See you guys later.
My spies have located another Jedi. Kazdan Paratus is far more powerful than you. I do not expect you to survive, but if you destroy him, you'll be one step closer to your destiny.
The Emperor.
Yes, only together can we defeat him.
I will not fail you, my master.